Hello, I'm Linton Green, proud of the South Lodge number 324, Fort Worth, Texas, past master. I was born in Stevens, Arkansas, September 18, 1926. From the time I had knowledge of really where I were, they had relocated out of Stevens and gone out into the country, a place about 5 miles south of a little place called Collindale, Arkansas. We were sharecroppers, my parents were. They owned the farm. That's my early remembrance. My father, as we were growing up, he being a farmer, he said, my brother and I, of course there was others, but we were the first, the oldest. Boys, when you grow up, always be farmers. Well, we didn't know any better. We thought that that was it, you know. But after I got grown, I felt different. My father was Otis Green, and my mother was Eldora Green. There were 6 of us. There were 4 boys and 2 girls. I was married September 30th, 1949. My wife died February 14th, 2004. Yes, we had 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls. 7 grandchildren, 12 great-grandchildren, and 3 great-great-great-grandchildren. Well, my education, from the time I entered school, I guess the first grade to the 6th continuously, but at that time, and where I grew up, and the requirements on the farm prevented me from getting a formal education. I guess I was practically grown before I eventually passed the GED test. Oh, I received a certificate of training in 1975 from Tarrant County Junior College. January of 1943, left Arkansas at age 16. Went to Los Angeles, California, to live with an aunt, and I registered for the Army in 1944 because I turned 18. Well, I was drafted into the military July 16, 1945, and that's where I was for the next 25 years in the military. Started out in the Army. After 6 months and 8 days, got into what they call the Army Air Corps. Remained there until 1947 when the Army Air Corps became Air Force, on the same status as the Army and the Navy. And that's where I finished up my career in the military, in the Air Force. I obtained E6, which was Tech Sergeant. My first foreign assignment was Goose Bay, Labrador. After that, I had tour in TDY to Fairbanks, Alaska. Then Guam. Had a 15-month tour in Ankara, Turkey, and 15-month tour in Peshawar, West Pakistan. And that was the extent of my foreign service. The most of my service was at Carswell Air Force Base. I did have 5 years at Bergstrom Air Force Base in Austin, Texas. I'm in the military now with military personnel. Some of them taught me would I join the Masons. I really didn't have no thoughts about Masonry or what it was. But being friends, I filled out an application and joined the Masons. Because I really was going into something that I did not know what I was going into. Guys told me to be good, be nice to be there. But I got through the initiation, passing, and raising. I guess that was the surprising thing to me when I went through that. But it turned out all right. Okay, when I first went into the Masons, I was initiated, passed, and raised in St. Joseph Lodge number 2042, F&AM. I remained that until September of 1970, and I switched from there into FAM, Prince Hall Masonry. Proud of the South Lodge number 324, Fort Worth, Texas. I like training and staying strictly with the ritual. And for the most of it, I think we probably still stick with it. But the people have changed. I'm old school. People are charged not much younger than me, but they are doing a good job. But there are times when I feel that some training is being left out that should be presented to the craft. I would say that the person that really vouched for me going in, a guy that was, and he was in the military at that time, but he had been in the Mason much longer, a guy named Leslie Allen. He really trained me. I had to learn all of those lectures and be able to state them by heart, answer every question. I know he would come to my house sometime. We sit, and he would grill me over and over and over. I remember when I went from the first to the second degree, and I answered all the questions, gave the signs so in such a manner that some of the members in the lodge claimed he gave me the book to study. But no, I got it from lecture. Oh, I guess when I was nominated and elected for Worshipful Master, I suppose. 1991, I was able to preside as we initiated, passed, and raised a number of people. They had cornerstone line ceremonies, burial, and I performed a lot of the Masonic burials. In fact, I was the head of a burial team they had here in Fort Worth. They would send bodies from other places to be buried here because this was their home. And whenever that would happen, me being the chief of the burial thing here, I'd get my crew together and we would perform that ceremony. I met so many people. I guess one person would, well, I can't think of his name. He's a past master. He's dead now. Grandmaster Cash. He was sort of an influence to me. I think he was the master after I.H. Claiborne. I'm not sure. Memory don't serve me too well, but he had an influence on me. Well, the way that probably would treat me, encouraging words. So I recall on one occasion we're having a grand session here and wanted someone to give the visiting dignitary, he wanted to give the visitors a welcome, and he called on me. I said, who, me? I don't know anything about that. You can do it. And sure enough, I gave a welcome at that Grand Lodge session that year, and I went, I cannot recall. I don't know what year this was, but prior to the South Lodge was the lodge to open up the occasional lodge. Ben Lewis was the worshipful master, and I was the senior warden, and L.D. Evans was the junior warden. I remember Brother Lewis, because he's passed on, but he was sitting in the east. He was the worshipful master. I was his senior warden. And believe it or not, when he's looking down, he's reading his book. We were opening up, and I was popping back his answer to him from memory. No. And in fact, that's when I kind of became known with my performance that was performed at that occasional lodge opening, with all everyone in attendance. And a lot of people had seen me before. They saw a little ruddy guy running around with it. But the way I performed there at that opening and closing, that kind of made this little kid known among the crowd. But I.H. Claiborne was the Grand Master. It possibly could have been in 1972. I met him, shook hands with him, I spoke with him. I got the idea that he kind of walked heavy and carried a big stick, because I was, just getting into it, and didn't really get to know him. But he seemed to be, he was firm, serious about things. Well, I was as proud in F&AM as I am in F&AM. Mason is Masonry to me. Of course, I realized that Prince Hall is the cause of black Masons being here in the United States. But the names, really, until I got over here, didn't mean that much to me. I know one thing, since I am a Christian, I would encourage everyone to trust in the Lord, lean not unto their own understanding, and treat everybody right. Treat folks the way you want to be treated. Be kind, expression, and even if you have to correct someone, do it in a humble way. Don't just jump down his throat, pointing you. He knows he's done wrong. But try to live peaceably with all mankind. That's all I got to say about that, I think.